Hey everybody, Jason here, and it has been a great week. We came out with 6.3 on Monday morning, and in the grand scheme of things, it's been a really smooth release. The number of error reports, bug tickets we've been getting with that release has been pretty minimal considering. I was a little bit worried about this release because we put out a little bit we put out the image migration with all the new image types and all that stuff, and so that certainly complicates the release. But in general, we've only had maybe three people who have had trouble with that, so I'm pretty pleased with that. We will be putting out 6.4 in the next week, likely, to address the minor bugs that we've come across that have really only affected a handful of people. But we want to get the stable version of LaunchBox as stable as possible, as quickly as possible. So we'll definitely put out a 6.4 in the next week that addresses some of those minor issues. And for that reason, I probably won't be doing anything major development-wise immediately until after that 6.4 release in order to make things stable. However, we have added a couple new features to LaunchBox in the past week, and they are in the 6.4 betas that we put out. We're on beta 2 now. The first of the two new features we added, and we did both of these actually, or at least we started both of these in the live development stream that was on Monday. But the first thing is region parsing. So basically, if you have a ROM set that is in one of these two formats, either good set or no intro, which, as far as I can tell, those are the most popular ROM set formats right now. And if you have one of those formats and you import your games, LaunchBox will automatically parse the region field or the region part of the file name and put it in the region field on your games. So you'll have your regions populated now, and that's a big win for a lot of people, especially people who like to import, the entire good set or something like that, where there's multiple copies of a ROM for various regions and all that stuff. So that's a big important feature that we've added that's been a high priority for a lot of people for a long time. Basically, what we did was we tackled the highest priority and easiest to tackle tickets on Bitbucket just recently. And the other one that had a ton of votes on Bitbucket that was relatively easy to tackle was deleting ROM files when we delete games. So basically, this has been requested over and over and over again. People need the ability to delete the ROM files when they're deleting games just to keep their system clean. And I didn't make this default because of the obvious potential issues with it. I don't want people accidentally deleting their games, of course. But if you go to Tools Options in LaunchBox and you go to the General Options, which pop up by default, you can check the box to enable deleting ROMs when you delete games. And then when you delete games, you'll get a yes or no prompt that will let you specify whether or not you want to delete the ROM files when you delete the games. So nothing is automatic. You'll be prompted every single time. And you even have to turn it on in options before it's even available. The other thing about the delete ROMs feature is, and this is important to note, it only works for ROM files. It only works for emulated platforms. And the reason why we did that is because it gets hairy and it's not smart to be going and deleting Windows games or deleting even DOS games can be a problem, ScumVM and all that stuff. So really only emulated platforms, only traditional ROM type systems are supported for that, and it just won't prompt you for MS-DOS, for example. So that is the new deleting ROMs feature. So region parsing and deleting ROMs are the two new things that we've added. And both were highly voted Bitbucket tickets, which is why we tackled those. And not only are they highly voted Bitbucket tickets, but they're something we could do relatively quick and easily. So that's why we focus on that stuff. Moving on from there, I mentioned the 6.4 release coming out here pretty soon. Just yesterday, we took a break from LaunchBox development in the live stream yesterday to focus on the LaunchBox Games Database. Now, the LaunchBox Games Database we have not been focusing on in a long time, and so I really was happy to get back to the LaunchBox Games Database. I'm still working right now on the LaunchBox Games Database. We're working on adding the ability to delete games and specify duplicates and all that stuff. and so that is the focus right now. I expect to wrap that up and get LaunchBox Games Database updated here momentarily, hopefully today. I'm still working on that feature with the moderation process, so I'll get that stuff out today, I expect. And then it'll be back to LaunchBox development on Friday and hopefully pushing out that 6.4 release. So going forward, we got a bunch of stuff to do. This week, I'm not going to try and predict what we're going to do next. I will say that I will focus heavily on the highest voted tickets on Bitbucket going forward. That's going to be a major focus, and also a major focus is going to be making it easier for custom theme builders. I'll be doing a lot of research to figure out the best approaches there, as well as coming up with, Brad and I both will be coming up with tutorials to some capacity as well. So that's going to be a focus going forward. Another awesome piece of news from this week. Everybody knows that we are going to be attending Retropalooza in Texas on October 1st and 2nd. That's the gaming convention that the Game Chasers host. So very excited about that, and we're going to be bringing with us a brand new Bartop Arcade that we're having built. And we have a forum post going on, and I've enlisted the help of the community to design that Bartop Arcade with me, to help me out with that. And Rincewind on the forums stepped up, and he hasn't posted it to the forums yet. We're going to be posting the designs in progress on the forums very soon. But we're extremely excited about that because one thing is it's going to have LED blinky support, and it's going to help me in my development of that. I might be able to put out a version of LaunchBox with LED blinky support before I get the tablet, or I get the cabinet built. But it's definitely a big motivation for me to get that done. So I'm excited to be able to do that. And then also I'll be lugging it around with me to various game conventions as we go to them. So, and of course putting it on our table so people can play around with Big Box and play games and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that doesn't get us in any kind of trouble. I don't really know if that's going to be a problem or not. And if it is, will this disable the ability to actually play the games? But I hope that won't be an issue, and we'll be able to let people play games and all that stuff, despite the fact that it's ROMs. So looking forward to that. Hit us. I'll put a link to the thread in the description. The thread with the Bartop discussion. So hit that up and contribute to it here with us. I want people's feedback on the designs and all that stuff. So that'll be coming up here shortly. And super excited to get that built. And then also in October, super excited to be there for Retropalooza. And we're trying to get all three of us at Retropalooza this year. I don't have confirmation, but we're doing our best to get Brad and myself and Kirsten at Retropalooza this year, so you'll be able to meet everybody over there. So finally, I do have one more question. I do have a question from last week's video from Clive Barker. He asks, how do you avoid or relieve repetitive strain injuries? Those are very common among programmers and gamers. I'm having some problems with those right now. How do you deal with low back pain and neck pain? So, honestly, I'm a terrible person to ask this question to, because I don't do what I should to help prevent that kind of stuff. I will say that the one thing I have struggled with is carpal tunnel. I don't have carpal tunnel issues right now for some reason, but I certainly have in the past, and I have been able to figure out what caused it for me in the past, and what caused it for me in the past was working on laptops and typing like this, so generally when I work, I'm very careful to sit at a desk. I'm very careful to use a full-size keyboard, and I am careful about my hand placement. However, thankfully, I haven't dealt with back pain or neck pain or any of that nature. I have some minor issues with my legs because I don't move around enough, and I have restless leg syndrome. So I do have some health issues there with the physical fact that I don't get up and move around enough. I know the one thing I have been told is get up, move around, go on a walk in the middle of the day, that kind of thing. And I don't do that like I should. But there are, I'm like I said, I'm not an expert, but that's kind of my experience so far. I've been lucky, I think. Um, Overall, I've been pretty lucky as far as my health, despite the fact that I'm sitting down all day. Um, the kids help because they do encourage me to get up and get out and go on walks. And when school is going on, I walk them to school twice a week, so there at least there's that. But honestly, I don't do a lot of exercise like I should. So, but at the same time, it's very, very important. So sooner or later, I'm probably going to run into issues if I don't do something about it. I don't have good posture either. That's that's for sure. But hopefully, I'll be all right. So I'm kind of in the same boat, Clive. I'm not sure. Then finally, I've been super excited. Got this in the mail recently. This is sealed. We're gonna unbox Star Wars TIE Fighter, and this is the collector's edition. So this isn't the original release. I believe this is actually for Windows 95 or Windows. I don't think it's Windows 3.1. I could be wrong. The collector's CD-ROM. Originally, of course, the TIE Fighter is for DOS, and the one I'm used to playing is for DOS. But if I remember correctly, this is actually a higher resolution version of the game that runs on Windows. Let me see if I can figure that out here. Yeah, Windows 95 required, Windows 98 compatible, requires a Pentium 90. And I used to play this game on a 486. So this is kind of an upgraded version of the game. Requires a DirectX compatible graphics card. And of course, the version I had ran from floppies. This is a CD-based version. And the interesting thing about this game is joystick is required. You can't play this game without a joystick. And I played this with a Gravis joystick that I had back in the day. And I actually have a setup to play this now, so I'm very excited about that. So I've been waiting to open this up in front of you guys because I'm very, very excited about it. Obviously, everybody knows about Star Wars TIE Fighter. It's one of the best games of this era. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if X-Wing came out first or TIE Fighter came out first, but man, this game is awesome. Certainly the best space shooter example game ever when it came out. I mean, I just love this game. I put so many hours in this game; it was insane. And there was all kinds of gameplay. So let's open it up. Before we do that, I'll show you the front here for a little bit and flip it around to the back. It's a little shiny because of the plastic. So let's get that plastic off. I was surprised how inexpensive this was, honestly, on eBay. I think I got a really killer deal because I'd seen this going for stupid expensive, like $50, $100 before, or at least copies of Star Wars TIE Fighter. And for some reason, I found this one for pretty cheap. I don't remember exactly. I think it was like $20 or something like that, which is pretty exciting. So that's with the plastic off. We've still got the glare from the monitor, of course, but there's the box, and it is a really nice box. It's firm and stable, unlike some of the games from this era, so that's really nice. Open it up, and what do we got? Start off with, wow, this is a nice instruction manual. It's really big. I'm impressed. It's not your typical small instruction manual. It's something like 30 pages, but it's well done. That's really nice. Next we have, come join our alliance today. Even more Star Wars adventures available from the LucasArts Company store. So this is their catalog, I guess. So we open this up and get a list of the games available. There's the back. Looks like Star Wars Force Commander, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 1, Racer, Rogue Squadron, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. So yeah, there were a lot of great games out at this time from LucasArts. And then, of course, Jedi Knight, X-Wing Alliance, Shadows of the Empire. So yeah, they were on a roll, man, at this point in time. LucasArts was. All right. And then, of course, here's the disc. You don't get a case, just get a sleeve. But I guess that works. And then finally, whoa, look at this. Interesting. Star Wars Behind the Magic. It says, in The Insider's Guide to Star Wars, LucasArts Entertainment Company presents. That's incredible. It's sealed. So I'm going to have to grab some scissors to open this up. If I can find them. We're going to do this without damaging it. Maybe not. There we go. All right, so this is the inside of it. And there's 2 discs in here. Looks like these are CDs. I had no idea this was even in here. And it says Disc 1, Characters, Events, Technology, Episode 1 Preview, Locations, and Glossary. And then Disc 2 is Scene by Scene, Behind the Scenes, Expanded Universe, and Glossary. That's pretty cool. I'm going to actually watch that stuff. I didn't expect to have that in there. Very, very cool. So that's it, though. That's everything. Oh, no, there's one more thing in here that I almost missed. This is the keyboard reference guide. Not bad. Very cool. Well, that was a better unboxing than I expected it to be. It felt pretty light inside, but there's quite a bit of cool stuff in there. So that is Star Wars TIE Fighter, the collector's CD-ROM. So I'm really happy to have that in my collection. And we'll keep doing these big box releases. I'm having fun with them. I enjoy the big box releases more than pretty much MS-DOS and Windows 95, Windows 98 releases probably more than anything. So they're still my favorite kind of games. And now that I have I managed to put this together for like $100, which is pretty incredible. But I have a machine that I got off eBay that it's actually a Pentium 3 machine, but it's doing me just fine. Has drivers for Windows 95 and Windows 98, and I have that set up in my garage now because I'm running out of room in my house. But it's a setup basically just like I had when I was a kid. So I'm really enjoying playing all these old games from that era from the 90s to maybe late 80s to midway through the 90s, stuff like that. So have a good week, guys, and I will see you soon. I'll see you on Monday again for the live development stream, and that is going to be one more time at 3:00 p.m. PST for the time for that, and then after that we'll be on Wednesday. The following Wednesday we'll be back at the 9:30 a.m. PST time for the live development streams. Thanks, everybody. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you soon.